Hey, sports fans, PB&Z, sports chaos. And look, it's G Money. So PB must be on a mystery trip again. G Money's here with us. G Money, you there, buddy?
It's frozen. Sorry.
Look at that. He froze in the moment. He's got his shining light, his big opportunity on the big stage, and he froze.
I got
Unbelievable.
sky. I get nervous.
All right. So,
Thanks for
hey,
having me.
PB, let's talk some college football because this is the big weekend, right? We get the playoff games going on. I mean, not the playoff games, the conference championship games going on, which are going to have a big influence on the playoffs. Before we get to that, though, one person who won't be in the college football playoffs is Lane Kiffin because he went to LSU. Are you okay with old Mississippi saying, no way, you're not going to coach the game?
Yeah, I don't blame him. And shame on Lane Kiffin for giving up on his guys. He could have had a college trophy championship in his back pocket. I mean, it's a long shot that they win it, but still, I mean, he was literally had a chance to coach a team in the playoffs, and he left for LSU, who needs a lot before they can get to a playoff. So I think that's stupid on his end. Like Ole Miss was going to match any dollar figure LSU was providing. So it was a dumb move. I don't see why he did it personally.
Well, if LSU has to, I mean, if Ole Miss has the actual money to be able to match it, I bet they couldn't.
Well, they claimed they could, but who knows? You know, when everything's said and done, they might have backed off and said, "No way, that's more than we thought." But I just think it's crazy. I don't blame Ole Miss one bit. Like, hey, you're gonna ditch our team, then we're not gonna have you coach. Like, I don't blame them. I mean, I would have done the same thing.
So, college football playoffs, there's one big monkey on the back right now, and that is Duke is playing in the ACC championship with 5 losses, and they win that game. First of all, if they win that game, they may not even go.
No,
Because
they
if they're
probably
not
won't.
ranked, they won't go. There'll be another group of 5. There'll be 2 group of 5 teams potentially could go in that particular case, potentially, right?
James Madison.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, how did Duke get picked? I mean, there's 4 teams that have 2 losses in the ACC, and Duke is the one to pick. What's the tiebreak in the ACC? I don't know.
It's convoluted. I read something on it. It's just I got confused. I had to click the button. I couldn't read it anymore. It's confusing.
Meanwhile, permission that comes out this week, it says 2 ACC teams belong in the playoffs no matter what.
Absolutely not.
There's no way. I mean, the only team that belongs in the playoffs from the ACC is Miami, in my opinion, and they're not going to get there most likely because they're not even in their division, their conference championship game.
No, I think they're number 11. They'll get knocked out.
But G Money, listen to this though. I wrote this note. If Duke wins, right? I'm sorry. Duke wins, they're not going to play. If the other one is BYU plays Texas Tech. If BYU beats Texas Tech, Texas Tech beat them handily early in the year, so I don't know that
Yeah.
that's going to happen. But they potentially could knock out either Notre Dame, who's number 10 right now,
Yep.
or Alabama, who slid up to 9 and moved ahead of Notre Dame this week for some reason, right? Even though Notre Dame didn't lose, they didn't play either. Granted, Alabama did get the Iron Bowl. But if Alabama loses to Georgia with 3 losses, do they deserve to go still?
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't been that impressed. I mean, earlier in the year, they had some good games. They beat Georgia. They played well early in the year, but they've been barely getting by their last few weeks. I haven't been impressed by them.
So we're going to pick these games in a minute, but the Duke and Virginia game and the BYU Texas Tech. If BYU and Duke both win, this whole playoff scenario is chaos, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's probably 6 teams that are secure, or 7 teams that are secure right now.
Say that Alabama does win, they beat Georgia. They're in no matter what at that point in time. Georgia stays in regardless as well.
Oh yeah.
What happens with Notre Dame? And do you take Notre Dame still in that case as the last remaining wild card, so to speak? Or do you look at Miami, who beat Notre Dame at the beginning of the year?
I mean, Miami should get the nudge over Notre Dame because they beat them head to head. Same record, 10-2. You think Miami should get the better, get in instead of Notre Dame because of that.
I hear a lot of the talking heads say, hey, Notre Dame's looked much better over the last 8-10 games of the season. But then I hear the talking heads who actually played the game, like Booger McFarlane and other people like that, and they're like, head-to-head matters, man. Because otherwise, if head-to-head doesn't matter, some teams like Ohio State this year is not going to schedule anybody. They're going to put cupcakes on their schedule and coast right into their playoffs. I don't know, man. We'll see. Well, let's go pick these crazy games. Let's start with
Yeah.
that Ohio State game. Indiana, number 2, goes to number 1, Ohio State. Ohio State's a 4-point favorite. Remind you, because I know you're a huge Ohio State fan, huge fan. The game's in Indianapolis, so it's a home game basically for Indiana. By the way, I know you keep talking about that vaunted Ohio State defense.
8 points a game.
The rest of the schedule they played was 6 of the teams they beat were in the bottom 10 in offense in the country, not just the conference, the country. So they beat a bunch of cupcakes. I'm not so sure that they're that vaunted of defense. They ain't 85 Chicago Bears. I'll tell you that right now. What do you think?
Will you admit? Will you admit if they hold Indiana to, I think 20 is the most they could score on Saturday. Next time 17 is what I'm guessing is the most they could score.
Yeah, if they hold Indiana under 17, I'll be impressed.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I think they will. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think a low-scoring like 24-17 type of game. I think Ohio State will pull it off. I don't think it matters, so I question how motivated they'll be because they're in regardless. They got a first-round bye regardless, so the game means really nothing other than bragging rights. So I question the motivation on both teams. But if they're motivated,
I've heard that today. Well, mostly about Ohio State, the motivation. They beat Michigan, right? That got that monkey off their back 4 years in a row. They're gonna get automatically in there no matter what, even if they don't win this game. So IU, on the other hand, huge bragging rights. They've never beat Ohio State in a winner-take-all game. To me, they have all the motivation in the world. Kirk Cousins is the one guy that's going to fire them up. They will not be playing down. I actually think they might even win this game. I'm picking Indiana to cover, and I think they might win the game.
I think they went outright, huh?
Yeah.
Do you see a low-scoring game like I do, though? Do you think it's going to be a grind?
Well, hey, by the way, if you just said, what did you say, 24-17?
Yeah.
That's 44 points. What's the over and under in this game?
48. So it's low scoring based on that number.
To me, it's going to be even lower scoring than that.
Oh yeah.
But if it goes over, it means Indiana wins the game.
Yeah, 100%. Because Ohio State's not a high octane offense for the most part.
No. I mean, granted, they do have the big stud wide receiver, and the other kid's not that bad either. But both of them have been a little banged up this year. They looked healthy, obviously, in the Michigan game. But did they take any more bangs in that game? We'll see, right?
Yep.
All right. PB's going to Ohio State as well. Georgia, 2.5-point favorite in the rematch to Bama. Bama won earlier in the year. What do you think happens here?
I'm a big believer that it's hard to beat the same team twice, especially a team the caliber of Georgia. So I think Georgia wins by 6-10, somewhere in that range. I think they win pretty convincingly.
With you, I'm taking the spread on that one. I'm giving the points 2.5. Bama's. Even if it's a field goal game, right? So that means Georgia still wins, right? Yeah. So, and Bama, by the way, is going to be fired up because they got that big question mark. You got 3 losses, Right. Georgia's in, I think, no matter what, win or lose. But to your point, I don't think they beat them twice in one season. So I got Georgia in that one.
Georgia, though, if they lose, they're out of the bye, and the bye is huge. Have an extra week off.
Yeah, true. So Georgia, all 3 of us got Georgia. PB's got Georgia as well. All right, here's the big one. BYU, number 11 in the country, goes to number 4, Texas Tech, or plays versus Texas Tech in that game. I think that one's in the AT&T Dome, if I'm not mistaken, where Dallas plays. 12.5-point spread for Texas Tech. I knew they beat them big time last game, which was probably about 6 weeks ago now, 5 weeks ago. What do you think, though? Does it happen again, a big win by Texas Tech?
No, I hate to say it because, like I said, I don't think teams – I like teams to not beat a team a second time, but I think Texas Tech is a really good team, and I think it's possible they win, but I think they win by less than 10. I think look at 7 to 10 points. I think BYU covers 12.5.
I'm with you on that one. PB's got Texas Tech. He's getting a lot of points, almost 2 touchdowns. All right, here's the other game. The other game, man, that throws this whole thing upside down. Duke plays Virginia in the ACC championship. Where's that? I think that's played down in the down where the Falcons play, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think the Georgia. No, isn't that where's Georgia, Alabama playing?
Oh yeah. You're right. That's what's being played there. Okay, all right. This is being played in Charlotte. That's where this is being played. Yep, all right. What do you think in this game?
I watched Duke a few times because I made a mistake of wagering on them a couple times, and it bit me in the ass. Their defense is horrendous, Duke is a horrible defense. They can score, but they cannot defend worth a damn. Virginia can actually play a little bit of defense. And their offense is pretty good. When they're on, they're on. So I think Virginia wins by 6, maybe. I think they cover the 3.5.
4. Got it. We're going at 4.
Oh, 4. They cover the 4, I think.
All right. All right. I'm up in the air on that, but I think you're right. I think it's maybe a 5-point game, so with Virginia winning.
Who's PB like on that one?
G Money is as well. I'm not G Money. She's PB is PB Virginia. All right. All right. Let's move on to the NFL. Hey, last week the Panthers defeated the Rams. Was that the worst loss of the week?
Yeah. I did not see that coming. I mean, the Rams were a juggernaut up until that game, and then bam, out of nowhere, they weren't focused. I don't know. They just played.
By the way, I know I had them as the best team in the NFC going into last weekend.
I would agree with that assessment. I question that now based on how they played against Carolina, but maybe we're underestimating the Panthers. I mean, they got a winning record.
They do. They're in the running for the AFC. I mean, the NFC South, right?
Yep.
So, all right. The other thing was a shocker. You heard the fans chanting "Fire Tomlin." Does that blow your mind?
Yeah, the guy hasn't had a losing season. He's missed a consistency. And also he has does he have one Super Bowl win or 2? With one? He's a Super Bowl champion. He doesn't have a losing season. I mean, how do you vote? Are you that desperate to win another Super? I guess it's always the name of the game is to win a Super Bowl. But if you don't have a losing season, how do you get rid of someone?
Yeah. And we're going to pick, that's a big game this weekend too for them. We're going to pick that game momentarily. Hey, last Monday night, something happened that I think will never be repeated in NFL history. Has to be the funniest play ever in NFL, at least this year. The Giants kicker put the ground and missed the ball.
I almost peed my pants. That was hilarious. I mean, it was like the Charlie Brown skit. It was like the Charlie Brown skit. You remember Charlie Brown?
Right? Was that the worst moment ever in NFL? I think it might be, for crying out loud.
He needs to like go to an isolated island and just get out of the public view because that's horrible. Horrible.
Wait, the Pats won that game, and I know they've still got to play some really tough games, the Bills again, and then Baltimore. But are they the best team in the AFC right now?
Yeah, and obviously there's some bias in that because I'm obviously a Pats fan. But until I see differently, yeah. I mean, Denver's barely squeaking by. They're beating crap teams, and they're beating them by 3, by 1, by 4. Like they're not dominating. Pats are dominating.
Denver needed a miracle to beat that same Giants team, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they're not. I mean, their record's good, but they haven't looked good. So the eye test, the Pats are the best team in the AFC. But what's sad is if they lose to Buffalo and they lose to Baltimore and Bills win out, then we don't get the division. It's that, you know what I mean? Literally, those 2 games are going to define the season.
Man. All right. Hey, by the way, just the other night, 43 years ago, the Heisman Trophy was awarded to Herschel Walker. Get this, G Money. Second and third, John Elway and Eric Dickerson.
It's insane. That must be the best 3 podium players of any Heisman, right?
I heard that stat. I like, holy
All
crap.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, 3 Hall of Famers. 1, 2, 3 in the Heisman voting. Unbelievable. That is crazy. All right, let's pick some games. Let's start with that Steelers-Ravens game. This one's interesting to me. Ravens are not looking good. Lamar, for whatever reason, is not Lamar. He's a totally different guy. I think they put Steve Urkel in his body or something this season. I'm not sure what's going on. But they are playing the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, I love that picture of him last week with his face all cut up. You know, best picture I ever seen of Aaron Rodgers in my life. I'm tempted. To pick the Steelers, but I can't. What do you think?
I think I agree with you. Jackson does not look like himself, but I think he's got an injury that they're not disclosing. I think there's something going on with him that they're really not being honest about. But with that said, I still think they could beat Steelers at home because, like you said, Rodgers needs to retire. He's not. Well, you didn't say that, but I read between the lines. Like he's not the QB he once was. And Baltimore has enough weapons with the running game, with Zay Flowers, with the defense is okay. I think they'll win. It'll be probably a low scoring game, but I think they'll beat Steelers.
With you. PB's going with the Ravens as well. But I would not be shocked I would not be shocked if somehow, because don't forget, let's think about this for a minute before we move on. Cincinnati beat the Ravens on Thanksgiving. Cincinnati has no defense at all. Steelers can play defense, right? Steelers can play defense. So there's the wild card. A team with no defense beats Baltimore. A team with a pretty good defense is now playing them. That's going to be the wild card. And by the way, Baltimore's defense has been shoddy this year, right?
I just don't trust Rodgers on the road. I mean, he's still turnover prone in his old age.
I don't trust him at all anyways, but all right. Speaking of Bengals, a team that needs to win out, they go to Buffalo. Do they have a shot here?
I think they do. And Joe Burrow, I trust. He is a baller. He is legit. I mean, he literally just comes back his first day and like he never missed a beat. It took him 1 quarter to get his feet on, like he's just ripping balls to chase like it was nothing. Like he is unbelievably talented and a great competitor. And I think they went out. They probably still won't go to the playoffs, but I think they went out.
Okay. And by the way, they had to go to Buffalo in the winter before in the playoffs, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And they beat.
They have Josh Allen's number for one reason or another. And I just think, and honestly, as a Pats fan, I want this too, because if Bills lose, then they're probably not going to win the conference if they lose this game this week.
So that gives them basically a 3-game separation at that point in time, right?
We're not losing to Miami or the Jets, I don't think.
No. You know what? I was going to go Bills, but your rationale makes sense to me. I'm going to go Bengals as well.
I think they can pull it off. Would PB what?
PB's going
PB
Bills.
like Bills.
All right, another potential playoff game. Definitely two teams battling for the NFC North title. The Bears go to Green Bay. What happens here?
The Bears are the most overrated 9-3 team I've ever seen in my life. Their point differential is plus like 7. Like they are not a good team. They are a paper tiger, and I think they missed the playoffs, to be completely honest with you. But I think they lose against the Packers this week. I think they literally lose the rest of their games.
What does help them though is they have a big differential in takeaways.
Right, that's the only reason they have a winning record. They're barely outscoring the other teams they're playing. So I think Green Bay wins pretty definitively. So yeah, I like Green Bay on that at home.
What's you? So is PB. He's going with the Green Bay Packers as well. All right. Houston KC is another playoff game and a playoff elimination game, probably for both of them, but definitely for Kansas City if they lose this game. At Kansas City, what do you think?
I am so impressed with Houston's defense the last 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, they are dominant. They are by far the best defense in NFL. And I'm not that impressed with KC lately. So when in doubt, take the better defense. So I think Houston wins.
The PB's going with KC. I'm going to go KC one last time.
Yeah. Well, KC needs this to get in, and you can never bet against Mahomes. But if there's one team that can corral him and make him look human, it's Houston.
Yep. No, you're right. They did that last week.
Yep.
All right. Colts Jags. This one is for first place. And the AFC South, Colts were steamrolling for a while. Jags all of a sudden came out of nowhere, and they're actually, I think, technically ahead in that division at this point in time, right?
They get the tiebreaker, yeah.
All right. Man, I want Sunshine to really start playing well and prove his worth. Trevor Lawrence, I thought, was a generational quarterback. He hasn't proved that yet. Go on a roll, kid. Make something happen. Win this game. I'm picking the Jags.
I'm actually with you. I think Daniel Jones, he's not a good QB anyways, but he's been a good QB this year. He's a renaissance year, basically. But having a broken leg and playing, he's compromised. And that's huge because Jags has a pass rush. They have actually a decent D. So I think Indy is screwed because their QB is compromised. So I like the Jags.
Yeah, that's a good reason too as well. Yeah, and so does a PB. He's got the Jags as well. All right, Eagles go to Chargers. What do you think in this game?
I think Eagles are lost the last 2 games, right? And they haven't looked great. This is a get right. This is a get right game for them because they have a good pass rush. Chargers are banged up on the O-line, and Herbert's banged up. I mean, he shouldn't even be playing. I mean, he's got a broken hand and he just had surgery, but he's going to play. So I like the Phillies to dominate that game.
And by the way, the one team that's going to take a cheap shot at his hand is definitely the Eagles. We know that.
100%.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles as well. PB is going Chargers in this one, so we'll see. Hey, by the way, if Philadelphia does not win this game, that they can't land that plane in Philadelphia. The fans will be waiting with pitchforks for that team.
Oh yeah, they are a vicious fan base. They really are. Like it's crazy. They just won the Super Bowl. They give them no breaks.
They'll have to go to New York and then take a bus back down to Philadelphia or something, right?
It's crazy. Those Philadelphia fans are brutal.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Nice picks. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Take care.